the 2022 Talentos Latinos Awards, we gave recognition to some individuals who are not Latinos, but had been working for years to help our Latino community. As is the case of Commissioner Ilona Varga, who is retiring this year after working for the community for several decades.
36 years I have been representing Southwest Detroit. I was the first woman to be elected to the State House back in 1986 from Southwest Detroit. It used to be a third state representative district. So I represented Southwest Detroit in the State House for 12 years, and then 24 as a commissioner.
And I've been with her 20 years of those 24 years.
Yeah.
So you had seen all the changes that had happened to Detroit.
When I first started in politics, I lived in 48209, right in my Hispanic community. My neighbors were Hispanic on all sides. I could always tell when they talked about me because they would say representante. And I said, they're talking about me again. But it was a good thing. And I lived on Waterman. So I lived in the community since 1970. And I served on the SED's board of directors in my younger years before I got into politics. So I was very involved in the Hispanic community, and they just thought I was one of their own, and I was one of their own.
She saved beer school from being torn down back in the days. She also was a Girl Scout leader.
I had 3 Girl Scout troops at one time. It was a lot of fun. The older girls took care of the younger girls, and the middle-aged girls took care of the brownies. And so they learned leadership early on as Girl Scout leaders themselves, because they would take turns taking care of the next above them, or below them rather. So yeah, it was very good. It was very hard to coordinate everything, but those were the times when we could actually have the kids make gifts, and we went caroling at Christmas time, and we dropped off a gift, and we wouldn't take any money from people, and they thought that was really sweet. So each of the Girl Scouts had to choose a family that we're going to go caroling to their house, and then they would end up leaving them a gift, and some of them cried because they didn't expect it. So it was really rewarding. Volunteering is rewarding.
Jesse was telling me all the stuff you had done as a commissioner for the Hispanic community. Could you tell us?
It started back when I first came to the commission. Clark Park needed an ice rink, and it was almost $1 million that I brought to Clark Park to build a brand new ice rink at Clark Park. $1 million. And then another board of director came to me and said, I would like you to donate $100 to help us build a little park. And it was the All Saints Neighborhood Group at that time. It's called different now. I said to him, why would I want to give you $100 when I could probably build it for you? And
you did.
His eyes got real big. He says, how are you going to do that? I said, I don't know, but let me go work on it. So I got $200,000 from the Wayne County Parks, and we built a neighborhood park, and that neighborhood park right now has the Varga Pavilion on it, on Longworth and Mullane. that was something that was really needed. There was nothing for our little kids to play at in the neighborhood, and it took down 10 homes where it was drug-ridden neighborhood. And so the city helped us take the houses down, gave the land to this organization, and then I was able to give them $200,000 to add to whatever they had, and all they had to do was upkeep after we built it. So those were my two big projects that I am so very proud of, because I don't believe any of the commissioners had gotten that kind of money for their community for kids. I started out as a teacher aide at Beard School, so it was always about kids.
So all this year was the best thing about what your job as a commissioner?
The best thing about it is the people. You know, anybody can read and vote. They can read documents and they can vote. But when you go into the community and somebody is hurting and you can help them, and that's what Jesse does so well for me. He can understand. I can a little bit, but not much in Spanish. But he can speak the language. He knows the culture more than I do, although I think I do. But having him help people who can't help themselves is probably the best thing that I ever had to do as a commissioner. And it's rewarding, it's heartwarming, and bringing money home. You know, we got our hands involved in all of the volunteering organizations that were having activities. We would always be there. So we were part of whatever, and any everyday citizen like me, but didn't have the title, worked on, we also worked on. So that's what I liked about it. It was always about the people.
And you, what can you tell us?
Well, I'll tell you what. With the help of this young lady here in our office, we rescued this young lady that was kidnapped. She was, I think she was 6 years old or so, or maybe 3 years old, to a different country where nobody could reach her. So this lady was looking to help everywhere for 8 years, and then somehow somebody told her to come and check us out. And I always say, we can do everything we can, but can't promise you, but we'll try our very best. So I got a hold of my friends from the federal building, FBI. So we worked on it for a while. So they hit a couple of dead ends. So then later on, she called me back again. She says, Jesse, this man has been cited. He had been seen again. So, okay. So we got a whole Border Patrol and so on. So he got arrested. We got some information. Found out where the girl was at. So they got in contact with a consul down in this country, in Libya. So from there, she was sent to Italy, and from Italy, back down here, back home. Now she's home in the United States with her mom right now, but she's still real shy because everything that she was tortured down there, or abused and whatever, but her mom's happy. But without her office and her connections, she'd still be down there, you know.
Oh, there was one time when an 8-year-old came in the door and her mom behind her, and Jessie wasn't there at that particular time yet, but very early in my career. And the mother said to me, put your hand on my daughter's heart. And I put my hand on her heart, and she said, do you feel the irregularity? And I said, yes. She said, well, she's not legal, so Children's Hospital won't do the operation unless we come up with like $14,000. So I had another person, he's gone now, he was a veteran who's doing Jesse's work, Joe Callahan.
Joe Callahan, yeah.
Joe Callahan, I said, Joe, I don't know how to help her. And one thing about being in office, you don't have to have the answers. There's always people around you who know more. He went to work, and he also spoke Spanish. He went to work, and he talked to the bridge company and some others. We put coffee cans out in all the stores. That little girl got her operation, and she was going to Mayberry School, and she was running around not long after her operation, and it was successful. And if we did anything at all, we saved a life, now two. I think that says it all.
What would be the message for the community now that you are leaving? That a lot of people like Jesus are gonna miss you.
Embrace the new person who is coming in. I would not leave. I did not leave until I found a person who would follow in my footsteps and carry out the same warm, compassionate service that they're going to get from her that they got from me. She is a teacher by profession, a reading specialist. So again, she's going to be there caring about people. So I want people to embrace her, and I don't want partisanship on are they Hispanic, what nationality are they, do they care about me? I think that is the most important. But what I want to leave to the community is this: build your leaders, because this person will be gone one day too. And if you feel that the Hispanic population deserves their own Hispanic born or culture to be doing the representation, then surround that person, teach them, because people have to be taught. Leaders, people say they're born. No, they're not born. They're made. They're the ones that will listen. They'll learn, and they'll realize that it's just a title. Anybody else that doesn't think that it's just a title, and they're not just an ordinary person, is going to fail at no matter what they do. So let me tell you the one thing for the community to know. I looked for a Hispanic person to take my job. Can I mention his name?
No.
Okay.
No.
I said to him, I heard him give a speech. And I called him and I said, you're it. One day you will make a good representative or a commissioner or congressperson, whoever. Be patient. Work with me. I'll train you. I'll show you how I did it. I did it out of nothing. And he said to me, it was a he, said to me, I'm already running for something. And I said, but you're not ready. And so what could I do? I said to him after he lost, am I talking too much?
No.
After he lost, he ran again for something. I said, don't do this. There were some people in the community who were pushing him, but he wasn't ready. So you have to know who your friends are. Your friends really don't put you out and let the wolves eat you up. By the time I was ready to retire, he gave up on politics. I was so disappointed. So I did try. So I wanted the community to know that I did try.
And then there was the lady too. Same thing.
There was a lady.
Yeah.
I met with her. And I told her, wait 4 years. I'm going to be leaving. Work with me. And she said she'd think about it. Then she ended up running against me instead. So I beat her. She did run for another office, and I'm happy to say she won. But she could have had my job that she really, really wanted. But actually, I'm happy for her because it's a better fit for her where she's at. The commission is a very data-driven job. You have to read a lot of contracts. It's a lot of studying.
A lot of reading.
It's a lot of studying. So the night before, if you're going to take a bubble bath, you better take your work with you because you're going to be reading for hours and hours and hours before your next committee meeting or your next full board meeting. So it's a lot of reading, a lot of studying to make sure that nobody's getting favoritism or the dollars all match up. We've had contracts where it was one contract expired on one day and the other one didn't start for a couple of days. So there was a day where nobody would get service because they had their dates wrong. So we have to really check every little box to make sure that all of those are crossed and we don't miss any contracts that are not just perfect.
We also our job was to check the jail system. You know, the prisoners when they were released, got heathers and stuff like that too. So it wasn't just that. We have to go outside the office and to the jail system too.
Well, because we're hands-on. We were very hands-on. So we wanted to know, how does the tether system work?
Yep.
What does the jail inside look? We study because then if people come to us and they say, we have relatives in the jail and they're not getting good service, well, we can kind of know whether it's just trying to get sympathy or is it really real. So because we check it out.
We follow up with
we check it out.
We don't, our office don't promise, but we'll do our very best wherever we can.
We try.
Yeah. And another thing before we shut down, Clark Park was in the dark.
Oh yeah.
And now, because now you drive by it at nighttime, it's just so beautiful. It's like traveling back in time. It's like I call it, look, we're here in London. How you know London looks in the fog? That's the way it looks, just so peaceful. All we need is some marachas to come and play there. So you want to get some money? Go play your guitar, your maracha, and let the people donate you some money.
Well, what happened actually was 3 schools are right around Clark Park, and the kids would walk across, and they would be in the dark in the morning when they were going to school. And so Clark Park Coalition wanted to light it up, and it's a historic Clark Park, so we had to have historic lights put up. And so yeah, that was another $200,000 that I looked under every rock, and it just so happened that I found.
She found the money underneath the rock.
I was the budget chair for the commission. I am right now. So I found some monies that we could allocate for such a project. And one thing I don't boast about those projects to the commissioners, because if they find out what good I do, then they're going to try to take it away from me and do it in their district. So we only have a little pot to work from. So most people would boast about all those things that you do.
Yeah.
Close up, let the people know that it's there for them to enjoy. But I don't go out and make big public appearances on those
we
kinds
don't.
of
We
things.
keep it
We
low.
do it quietly.
Like says, there always people that say, "Hey, how come our commissioner? How do we get a commissioner like that in our neighborhood? You know, get people outside in the field or doing things." I said, "Hey, that's our commissioner. You just gotta look. You know, but you ain't gonna take our commissioner away. You know." So.
Yeah, it's going to be sad leaving the commission, leaving the people behind as a commissioner. But I think it's good to move over and let someone else take over and do. They're going to do the same kinds of things, but with their style. And we're going to be fortunate to have Cara Clemente follow me in my footsteps, and she's keeping both my staff, and so the people won't even notice maybe that I'm gone, because they're going to be getting the same continuous service that they had gotten from me. One day somebody 10 years from now will wake up and say, "Where's Ilona Varga?" And they'll say, "Oh, don't you realize she retired 10 years ago?" Because the service they're going to be getting is going to be that good.